Stop telling your team what to do and start asking them questions. Because if you don't want to know the light they actually see you in, and also you're not actually helping them. Here's why I bring this up. I got a call from a fella who I used to work with back in the day, he used to be my boss. Phenomenal leader, absolute amazing leader. And throughout this conversation that him and I had, I started realizing, oh no, I thought I was just good at these things. I had to learn and be taught all these things. And what he did, he happened to see one of my videos and he sends me messages like, hey man, you should talk about this on your next video. And he's talking about situational leadership and how questions are so important. And to be real with you, it's not where I was gonna go originally, but like it literally kept popping up every day that followed. So I'm like, all right, guess this is what I'm talking about.
And here we go.
So a lot of the times as leaders, what we find ourselves doing, it's like you're in the leadership role, so you know the things. So you just start telling people the answers, or you start telling them what to do, or you just think, how do you not know this? And you just get frustrated with them. What you need to understand is maybe they haven't had the time in that you have, or maybe they're just in a different place. Regardless of the case, you're a leader for a reason. And the way you truly lead people and truly help them is by asking them questions. Think about it. There is something that is going on in today's world where people are genuinely losing the ability to be thinkers. What I mean by that is you can Google anything, you can YouTube anything, you can chat or Claude or whatever you want to use. You can just find all these answers. Critical thinking is becoming kind of a lost skill set.
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
Be good just to hold them down by your side. Yeah, great.
And it's your job as a leader to ask the right questions to help them develop that skill set. Because here's the thing, if you just keep bossing them around all the time, here's what's gonna happen. They're not gonna get any better. They're gonna think you're a jerk. They're gonna leave. And if none of that happens, you're just gonna have to keep doing it over and over again because they're not learning, which is your job to teach them. If you are a leader and you're liking what you're seeing here, but you need some help on it, you want to be able to ask some better questions to your people, but you don't know the questions to ask, what I need you to do is click in the link below and get in contact with us. And let's see how we can help you moving forward. Start asking more questions and being a better leader. Now back to the show. I call it asking why. Your team members are going to come to you with things that they need help with, whether it's something they don't understand or they don't know the procedure. You're going to need to start asking why questions. And if you want to think about this, a lot of the times, again, as I know, where your knee-jerk reaction comes sometimes, like because you know the thing, you just give the answer. Giving the answer isn't necessarily the best way to go all the time. Sometimes it comes from asking questions.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go? Nope.
The best story I know to tell you on this is, do you know that Jesus asked 307 questions throughout the Gospels? Now, if you think about that, this is the fella that knows everything since the beginning. And like he literally, he knows the answers. There's no need for him to ask a question. And as a leader, sometimes you don't need to ask a question for yourself. You're asking it for them. So a perfect study of this is if you want to look at Mark 2 verse 9, that's Mark chapter 2 verse 9, it states, which is easier to say, this paralyzed man, your sins are forgiven, or to say, get up and take your mat and walk? Now, what had just happened is Jesus has just healed a guy that couldn't walk previously, and they're coming at him. And he knows what they're really upset about. They aren't necessarily upset that this guy who was paralyzed is now walking. They're upset that he said, your sins are forgiven. How do you have the power to do this, etc., etc. He knew this, which is why he asked the question. And here's the great thing about where I'm going next. When you're asking these questions, they are meant to be challenging. You need to have questions that challenge your people. You need to develop that critical thinking. Or sometimes, like in the case of the Pharisees here, he was challenging what they believed, knowing that it was actually going to kind of fire them up, but it's the truth that he had to get them to. And you may have, not this kind of variation of a thing, right? But you may have these things right now. You may have someone that comes to you, like really in the sales world, hey, this is something I used to get asked as a sales leader all the time. Hey, what would you say if the customer that said this? Rather than just giving them the answer, well, what happens if they don't get asked that exact same question in that exact same way from the homeowner the next time? Your answer that you give them doesn't apply. So instead, you need to start asking questions for them to think this through next time they come across the same situation with a little bit different wording.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
So my encouragement to you is start asking why questions. And again, you are not trying to lead them to the answers that you want. You're not trying to make them think what you have or the way you want it. You need to ask questions that are helpful to them and answer what they need. Leadership is about the people you're leading, not about you. Since we're asking questions here, let me ask you a question. Why have you not shared, liked, and subscribed yet? Seriously, pass this thing along. If you're a leader and you like what you're hearing, you need to send it to some other leaders. If it's helped you, help someone else. Come on, man. Why have you not? So I encourage you to start operating, like my boy told me, with situational leadership. Every situation is going to be a little bit different. Not everything is this or that. There is an area in between, especially if you're talking about things that are happening when you're not around to help them. You need to have good questions as a leader so you can help them develop critical thinking, because like we talked about, sadly, it is a form that is going away. So the goal as a leader is to have them be able to replace you. If you don't get them to think like you and accomplish the things you accomplish, that's not going to happen. You're going to have upset team members and you're going to be frustrated because you got team members keep asking you questions all the time.
If we want to hear you talk, I will work your mouth like a puppet. You hear me?
Take this down, do some looking in on it, start writing down questions that you can ask your team members for things that they come to you with all the time. Thank you for tuning in. Until the next one, we'll see ya on the next one.